Tradition lives on here at Neville High School. This is Neville Tiger Football on the Neville Tiger Network. Neville Football is presented by French and Paige Smith, James Machine Works, Family Solutions, Mama DeLuca's Pizza, Frank Nettles Automotive, Catahoula's Restaurant, Shell Chiropractic, Podna's Barbecue, Tenori's on Louisville, The Paper Market, Martinez Chiropractic, Go Family Health, and these fine sponsors. Now it's time to hand it off to play-by-play announcer Stuart Shelby as he joins former Tiger quarterback Robert Lane in the Family Solutions broadcast booth for tonight's pregame show. Take it away, guys. Well, everyone, welcome into Rebel Stadium on Friday night. We're at Don Shouse Field on the campus of West Monroe High School here in West Monroe as the Tigers and Rebels are set to clash once again. One of the most storied rivalries over the past 20 years in high school football, a rivalry that was took a little hiatus there and when the Tigers moved down to 4A, but it's back and better than ever, and we're ready to bring that game to you here this evening. Folks, we're in the Cartown pregame show, and I'd like to thank Dino and Steve Taylor for their sponsorship of tonight's broadcast here on the Neville Tiger Network. I'm Stuart Shelby. In a minute, I'll be joined by Robert Lane for a little color commentary. But first, we've got a few new features for you here on our pregame show. A lot of talented people running around the halls of Neville High School. One of them is our own basketball coach, Vince Burks, or as we like to call him, Mr. Pick'em Grissom. He's going to give you a few little previews of not only tonight's ball game, but also local games of interest around the area. So stay tuned for that. When we come back, we will also have the Coach's Corner with Adam Hunsucker from the News Star. He catches up with Coach Jeff Tannehill weekly from this week on throughout the rest of our season. We're glad that you've joined us here on the Neville Tiger Network in whatever way you are joining us, whether it's YouTube, Facebook, on our website, www.NevilleTigerNetwork.com, or on the Roku or Amazon Fire Stick apps. Thanks for joining us. Here is Mr. Pick'em Grissom's report.
Good evening. It's Vince Burks, a.k.a. Mr. Pick'em Grissom, here on the Neville Tiger Network, giving you guys my predictions of the week. We're going to start off with the 1A, Class 1A picks. OCS travels to Dale High. This is going to be a blowout all day long. I have OCS winning it 36-15 over the Dale High Bears. Also in 1A, the game of the week, 1A game of the week, Oak Grove battles St. Frederick's. St. Frederick's has come a long way, but I don't think they'll be able to handle the Oak Grove Tigers. Oak Grove wins this one 31-20. Also in Class 1A, you got the Tensas Bears facing the Cedar Creek Cougars. This is going to be a blowout early. Cedar Creek wins 40-8. Over to 2A, we have the Mangum Dragons facing North Caddo. Mangum keeps it going. They move to 3-0. Mangum wins 40-14. The Ravel Hornets are doing a pretty good job. They battle Union Parish early, and they battle Faraday. But they'll get their first win this week versus the Vidalia Vikings. Ravel wins 38-16. And over in Tallulah, the Madison Parish Jaguars versus the Dale High Charter Gators. Dale High Charter gets their first win. They win 13-12. Over to Class 3A, you have my number 3 seeded team, Union Parish Farmers. They keep it rolling, 40-28 over Class 4A Franklin Parish. Over at Sterlington, you have a great game with them versus Richwood. A district rivalry is on the line. Sterlington takes advantage of their first 3A win, 20-6. Northwood Shreveport battles the Wasserman Wildcats. Last year, Wasserman defeated them, but this year, Northwood gets their revenge, 28-14. And down in Baton Rouge on Saturday, the Carroll Bulldogs travel to face Woodlawn. The 5A Woodlawn will be too much for Carroll, 26-20. Now we'll go to 5A, where the number 1 seeded Ruston Bearcats, after a big win over the Neville Tigers, they face Woodlawn out of Shreveport. This will be an easy win for Ruston, 55-6. The Ouachita Lions, after a tough loss at home to Union Parish, they bounced back to beat Class 4A and my number 14 Bastrop 34-21. And the West Ouachita Chiefs keep it moving. They improved their record to 3-0 with a 44-3 win over Northwood Lena. Grissom's featured game this week features a 2A battle between the General Trask Panthers and the Faraday Trojans. The Faraday Trojans, coming off a state championship in 2019, are riding a 14-game win streak and is perhaps the hottest team in the state of Louisiana. This week, they'll play an undefeated General Trask Panthers team who's also as hot. General Trask comes in averaging 42 points a game, while the Faraday Trojans average 38 points a game. This game has all the makings to be a thriller. Last week, Lake Providence destroyed Madison Parish Jaguars in Madison. The week before, they went on the road and destroyed the Evangel Eagles. A lot of people have not heard that General Trask is for real, but this will be a tall task. In Concordia Parish, I think General Trask will come away with the upset, 20-19, over the Faraday Trojans and advance to 3-0. Grissom's primetime game of the week will be over on the west side as the Neville Tigers face the West Monroe Rebels. The Neville Tigers faithful and Neville Nation is probably still trying to figure out what happened last week at Grambling's Eddie G. Robinson Stadium. After a 21-0 lead, the Neville Tigers turned into a turnover fest into the fourth quarter, giving Ruston the opportunity to tie the ball game and sending it to overtime. A Brett Batterford touchdown to Ben Crawford gave Neville the lead, and after 2 Tiger sacks on Ruston's first possession in overtime, the Tigers thought they had a win until a series of unfortunate events. On 4th down and goal from the 46-yard line, the Ruston Bearcats held up a Hail Mary, and it came down into the hands of a Ruston receiver, giving Ruston a tie headed into double overtime. Needless to say, the Neville Tigers would lose that ball game 38-35 and fall to 1-1 on the season. Meanwhile, on the west side, West Monroe is making quick haste of the Evangel Eagles. West Monroe was led by Jerome Williams. The senior tailback rushed for nearly 200 yards and 4 touchdowns in only one half of play before Jerry Aldridge pulled his starters. This game has always been a great game on the schedule, and anytime Neville and West Monroe meet, it's going to be a great game. You better believe it. The Neville Tigers have not beaten the West Monroe Rebels since 1995. But on Friday night, I have a feeling that something's going to change. When the number 6 Neville Tigers visit West Monroe, the Neville Tigers will win on a 23-yard field goal by William Reed to give the Tigers the lead. 23-21 final. Neville Tigers go to 2-1. Those have been the Grissom's Picks of the Weeks. Lock 'em, load 'em. See you next week.
The used car giants are back, and they're crushing the competition, crushing high prices, and crushing bad credit. And they're bringing something even bigger. One-click online purchasing. Visit usedcargiants.com. Choose the car you want from CarTown's huge inventory and buy it with one click.
I'm Dr. Scott Shelby with Family Solutions. When you hear the words Family Solutions, you may not know that we're a comprehensive, strength-based counseling and psychiatric clinic. Family Solutions provides psychiatric care, individual and couples therapy, child and adolescent counseling, psychological testing, medication management. We also provide occupational therapy, physical therapy, speech therapy, and ABA therapy in one convenient location. For more information on how we can help your family today, visit FamilySolutionsCounseling.org.
Stop into Central Station. We have many convenient locations ready for you. Stop in to rest, fill up on gas, and grab a great bite to eat. Central Station locations offer clean restrooms and easy access. Stop into Central Station today.
Since 1977, if you thought barbecue in Monroe, you thought Podna's Barbecue, Louisiana's original barbecue. All right, everybody, welcome back. Hope you enjoyed the Pick'em Grissom segment from our main man, Vince Burks. You're going to hear from him on the sidelines here later on the pregame and throughout the game. So he's handling the sidelines for us, and we really appreciate him joining the broadcast. Folks, you're looking for Neville in West Monroe. You found it right here on the Neville Tiger Network. Another feature that we're going to bring to you here on the CarTown pregame show is a weekly visit between the News Stars' Adam Hunsucker and Neville head football coach Jeff Tannehill. Adam sat down with Coach Tannehill yesterday and put a little something together talking about tonight's contest with the Rebels. So take a listen to Adam and Coach Tannehill right now.
Neville Tiger Network. I'm Adam Hunsucker from the New Star here with Neville head football coach Jeff Tannehill. And Coach, before we get to West Monroe, you're trading one old rival for another one this week, and you've had some time back at the practice field to get prepared and everything. Well, how have the kids really, moved on from that disappointing loss at Ruston to get ready this week?
We've had 3 really good practices this week, and I feel like our kids got over that on Friday evening, and we moved on. That was something we stressed all day Friday. Is you got till the end of about 11 o'clock Friday night, and then we're on to Rebel Week. So we've had 3 really good practices. The kids have improved quite a bit this week, and we're looking forward to Friday night.
Right, and touch on one thing from the Ruston game before we move on. But all things considered, especially in the fourth quarter, with just being stuck in poor field position and the turnovers, your defense played pretty well. I mean, before the Hail Mary there in overtime, they'd given up about 254 yards, and that's a physical Ruston team. So do you think that can carry over this week against West Monroe?
Well, anytime you can hold Ruston to that few yards on the ground, because they are a potent run team, and they do a really good job of blocking up front when they have big fullbacks and a big tailback. And I thought Lane Blue, Hinton Roberts, Myra Meelam all played outstanding the other night. And our secondary had great coverage when they did try to throw the football. And Coach Lewis has done a great job over his years through here scheming up teams, and without a doubt he had a great game plan on Friday night. And going into this Friday, we wanted to have an even better one against the Rebels.
And looking at the Rebels, that was one of the big shockers of week 1 when Karen Crow came up here and beat them and shut them out. But they seem to have experimented with a few things on the offensive line, and really found some solutions to some of those problems against Evangel in a 52-0 win. When you look at them, what kind of have they changed in those 2 weeks that's really helping them live up to their potential offensively?
Well, they struggled on the offensive side of the ball against Karen Crow, which in all reality, let's be honest with you, the Karen Crow, I believe they're the Crow Dogs, everybody calls them. They are a really good football team. They're physical up front with some talented running backs. West Monroe's taken their defensive line guys and linebackers and moved those guys to the offensive line to get a little better. I think they had some younger guys trying to work those guys out in the offensive line, and in week 2 against Evangel, which they caught a young Evangel team the year before. Evangel lost a lot of seniors and was really good. They got a young team to use that time to practice against to get ready for us, and I thought they executed pretty well on offense the other night, and it had to do a lot with the offensive line getting a lot better over that week.
Coach, looking at the Rebels, if you think of West Monroe football, there's always going to have to be good up front, have an outstanding tailback, and be really, really solid on the defensive side of the football. Jerome Williams has played a lot for them at tailback, and you look at a kid like Brock Harvey, who seems to be another one of those long tradition of really good guys up front on the defensive line. And what's going to be the key for you all to be able to move the ball and then to be able to stop them when they have it?
Well, the improvements they made on the offensive line last week, were big moves. I thought, moving some of the defensive guys. As far as stopping them, we're going to have to be physical at the point of attack, and then we're going to have to play assignment football and stop the option. That's just something you have to do against the Rebels. They're so sound in their option game and very well coached that you've got to do a lot of things, and you've got to give them different looks. And then Coach Lewis has got them schemed up, so hopefully we can do a good job of tackling in space with their tailbacks, the Williams and the little kid. Both of them are good players of the option game. Offensively, we've got to be able to block their front. Ty Allen, Celarius Reed, Ryan Green, especially Brock Harvey, who's so athletic. Those are guys who are going to be the guys that's the base of their defense. If you can't block those front four, you can't move the football against them. Then you got to try to go over the top passing it if that becomes part of it, and they got a very talented secondary also. So those are the keys for us offensively, is really blocking their front forward.
When you look at the history of this rivalry, I mean, it's one you've been a part of as a player, you've been a part of as an assistant coach, now you're going to be part of it as a head coach. I mean, when you think about Neville history, there's Ruston. You guys have played that game every year since the school's been open. Unfortunately, due to COVID, the Washita series ended that consecutive streak this year. That went back to 1949. And you played the Rebels every year from 53 to 2000. And there was a home and home there, and I believe it was 2009 to 2010. And now this thing's been back on since about 2017. So, what do you tell the kids, your kids, about being part of this rivalry and the history behind it since you have lived it?
Well, living that part of it doesn't tell the whole tale to these kids. They don't understand anything past probably when the day they were born. So before '95, we pretty much dominated the series, and when Coach Shouse came in '89 or so, they started gradually working towards getting on top. And they've dominated the series since about '95. I think we were the last team to beat them in 1995 in the whole area. So I'm sure that's marked on everybody's calendar. Ruston, Washita's, Ashes, people out of Shreveport. So beating those guys, it's a big thing. Because nobody else has done it. But as far as our kids go, they only know the teams of the recent past, and they know that they've dominated the area. And the one thing we've got to get over is, one, just playing West Monroe, and two, going over there to their massive stadium, which is a beautiful stadium place to play, and then they've got the big scoreboard. So we've got to get over those little things first, and then just realize that we're playing on a 100-yard football field, and it's just like any other Friday night. So we get over that early in the game. We play physical at the point of attack. I think we'll have a good night against the Rebels.
Well, Coach, we appreciate your time, and best of luck on Friday night.
Thank you, Adam. Appreciate you.
The used car giants are bringing something massive to the Twin Cities. One-click online purchasing. Visit usedcargiants.com. Choose the car you want from CarTown's huge inventory and buy it with one click. CarTown, the used car giants.
When I see the crime statistics for our area, it hits me hard because I know I have the experience and knowledge to make a difference. I was an assistant district attorney under Jerry Jones and a defense attorney in my private practice, trying over 100 criminal trials in both state and federal court. For the